Professor?
It's time?
It's time. Let's get into it.
Let's get to it.
Here we go. How do we grade out after the Week 11 win?
The professor is back. I wouldn't put no B+. There's no way. That is the lowest grade I've given this year. Fellas, just so this is for all the guys that don't lose their glasses, when we need them.
Yeah.
Let's start this thing off right. Offense, I gave offense a C++. The thing that was holding the offense back, and I'm okay with the offense not getting over 200 yards passing if we're getting 140 yards rushing. But to me, I counted about 10 missed opportunities between misses from Caleb and drops from our receivers. The game, to me, in my opinion, shouldn't even been this close. Shouldn't have been this close. And I think those were the things that held us back. And I think when we get down this stretch, those are the things that we're going to need in order for us to even have a chance at the end of the games to win those games. So, obviously we also allowed 2 sacks, 6 penalties. But outside of that, it was a pretty good day for the offense, or decent day.
I try to dial into the professor before I do my Karma grades, which you can find at allchgo.com and become a diehard and whatnot. You get to read those grades. It felt like, for me, like a C's get degrees type of day. Like, yeah. I don't you passed. You got through. But I thought the O-line in the running game was great. Cole Kmet, the tight ends
look good.
Tight ends had a great day.
Yeah.
Receivers not so much. Luther Burden probably had the best day of any of the wide receivers yesterday.
He had a drop.
And he had a drop. So, and then I don't know, how you would grade the quarterback out. Hogue, you haven't done your full dive there, but I don't know how you.
No, but I did get through the first quarter, and those missed deep balls were even more annoying than they were live. I mean, we gotta get some of those, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're schemed up. They're open. The one to DJ Moore, especially. I mean,
the DJ Moore one's bad.
He's open the whole time. I realize there's a little bit of pressure coming from his left side from Durham Smythe, he's basically getting walked back in the quarterback, but it's not like Caleb got hit or anything. Ball's got to be out. It's got to be more accurate.
Yeah.
Most promising thing, though, I think it was blocking. We talked about how physical they were, and I, watching Cole Kmet, just obliterate a guy and kind of look down at him, and I could tell by the mannerisms what he was thinking. I like that kind of stuff, So that part is promising because down the stretch, that's the thing. Those are the things that are going to allow us to get the ball to our playmakers, for our running backs to, get down the field, get downhill and extend plays. So I really like that part.
That's my question. Does Aaron Rodgers watch tape? Like, has he heard of Cole Kmet?
You ain't going to watch that one much.
Because that was just not a very good business decision to throw yourself into that man.
Well, you're right, but this in this game, this is why football players are certifiably crazy, because you know the risks of throwing your body into this big tight end who's probably 30, 40 pounds heavier than you are, but you're gonna do it anyway. You're gonna do it anyway. All right. Defense, I gave defense a B-. All right. When you hold a team to total yards 265, that's decent. 150 yards passing is incredible. That's very good. 115 yards rushing. You got to do better. You're about 16 yards too many for my taste. 311 on third down. Bears were very good. That's under 30%. You always want to be under 30%. That's your goal. And 2 interceptions. But still, we still are unable to get to the quarterback. That's going to come up, in these later games, and that I'm very concerned with.
You said B- or A-?
B-.
B-. Okay. Okay.
We're at that time of the year.
So, where are you at on Noah Sewell?
I like Noah Sewell. I don't. Yeah. I think he fills in well. I think he does some things well. I think he does some things not as well. When I see him play, I see the reason why. I see some of the reasons why he probably wasn't graded as high as some of the other linebackers. When I look at let's say Jack Sanborn, Jack Sanborn was all over the place. When I grade the two of them, between the two of them, I grade Jack just a little bit higher.
But if I remember right, wasn't the touchdown that Aaron Jones scored in week 1 on basically
very similar type
route,
of
right?
Yeah.
Noah Sewell was in coverage, I believe, if I'm thinking about that right.
And it was an incomplete pass.
And this time around, they tried to do it to the other side.
Yeah.
He was in coverage
very
again.
Similar play. He's in coverage, and it was great coverage.
Yes.
So
that's
why improvement.
Yeah. That's why I brought it up, at least the Noah part, because I haven't watched the game where I'd watch him every single play to really get a full grasp on a guy. Mm-hmm. But his coverage yesterday was very good. He was coming up and being physical. But some people who I text with, they're not big Sewell fans. I'm like, I don't know, he looks pretty damn good to me.
But we got to keep expectations in check a little bit. He's playing a bigger role than he's supposed to be.
That's true.
He's a 4th-round pick who had an incredible offseason to get to the point where he could win the Sam linebacker job when we didn't even think he was going to make the team.
Right.
Okay, and now with TJ missing as much time as he's missed, he's been in there, having to play a pretty big role in the middle of that defense. So I think for what he's being asked to do, he's having more than a good year. Similar to Nahshon Wright, stepping in. You're not going into any year thinking Jalen Johnson's going to basically miss every snap other than one game. And is it going to be perfect? No. You saw it yesterday. Insane interception. Great play. High points the ball. Man, I wish sometimes the Bears wide receivers would do that. And then later in the game, he gets beat by Jordan Addison on the touchdown. So it's not going to be perfect, but I think overall nobody's upset with Nahshon Wright for his season this year, and I would say the same thing about Noah Sewell.
Are you, Karma, are you disappointed that you don't see more of Hippolyte?
No, I haven't had.
Well,
that.
wait, no, time out. I am.
I haven't had that thought.
I'm not saying I want him out there. I'm saying I'm disappointed that he's clearly. I mean, it doesn't look like it's been a good draft pick.
When it comes to football, and being a football player, people will talk about the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. The numbers lie when it's just the measurables. Just true measurables doesn't measure the type of football player that you are.
Sure. No, I get that. If you're just looking at the tackles, you're not exactly. He's not
super fast.
It's not a fair indication. I
had a great job on the 225 bench.
40 times.
That
40 times. Yeah, those measurables.
Well, the measurables with Hippolyte, if I was looking at those before the draft, I would have looked at the fact this guy is tiny.
Yep.
And you're asking him to play linebacker in the NFL.
In the NFL.
That's not a great formula. Let's move off the linebackers for a second before we leave the defense. Would you move Montez Sweat around more to try to get more out of him?
Well, listen, I'm going to be honest. Montez is starting to look like an old man out there.
It did not look good yesterday.
He was moving a little bit like an old man.
Yeah.
I don't know if he needs to go get some that cord blood, put all into his body, but he's moving. He's just looking a little aged right now.
Hoger, any thoughts on the Sweat?
I don't.
I mean, he's been getting sacks, but
I don't know about moving him around. I just know that you got to win your one-on-ones a little bit more and get. I mean, there's another guy who has looked like an old man at times this season, has been dealing with a knee injury, Grady Jarrett, and he didn't seem to have any problem causing disruption and getting. He almost forced 2 interceptions yesterday. Mm-hmm. So, fine. I mean,
he's getting double teamed too. It looked. They had double teams on Austin Booker. Dom Rob got double teamed.
The thing about old men, though, is old men know how to beat you in the one-on-one. They know the techniques. It gets to the point where you're so savvy now that you don't need the same speed that these young guys have or this over-aggression that some of these young guys have because you know how to beat him. You know what you're looking for. He sets wide. I know how to inset on him or to juke him inside to create what I need to create. I know how to long arm him. I know how to go speed to power. I know how to go power to speed.
They need more out of Sweat. We can just leave it there.
Special teams.
Special teams gets a D-.
Oh,
wow. It's a D-. Listen, I know that we had a wonderful punt return that set up, points. But at the same time, all right, we missed a field goal. We had a big punt return returned against us. We ran into the punt returner.
Yeah, that was bad.
We had a punt returner kick-catch interference. These are things that we cannot do. You know, it's to me that it doesn't balance. It doesn't completely balance it all out. And there's definitely, if we're talking that, then we had one more negative than we had positive.
So, head special teams coach, you want to push back at all, or
no? I don't. I mean,
D minus. That is rough.
I said 1 D minus. 1 minus.
D minus is rough.
Just one.
All right, here I actually did. So I got 8 key special teams plays in this game. 5 end up being good, 3 end up being bad. But as a coordinator, as a coach, I really don't want any bad, and maybe I can live with 1, but 3's too many. That's how I'd be looking at it. So here's what you got. You got Cairo, did a good job on the kickoffs, those dirty kicks, opening kickoff of the game.
Great on the kickoff. 4 for 5.
Josh Blackwell kick-catch interference was terrible. Cannot happen. Got to have an awareness.
Great block on the kickoff return that set up the game winner, but go ahead.
He did have a key block on that. That's on here as well. 54-yard field goal for Cairo. Let's not forget that. That's a big kick. There was a really good kickoff coverage play where Hardy came in like a wild man. He technically missed it, but he did I always teach our first guy in, you can take your shot. Because if our rest of our guys, if we have contained and everything, you're going to do enough to slow him down, redirect him into the rest of our coverage. So even though Hardy technically missed that tackle, and he did come in a little too high, I would coach him up on that. I'd say you're a little too high. But other than that, he took his shot, and then Roschon Johnson was there to take him down the rest of the way. So I thought that was good.
The hell out of him. It was awesome.
Yeah. The punt return to Price that you gave up when they're in punt block was bad.
Yep.
Gunner's got to get down there, force a fair catch. 45-yard field goal you missed, that was bad. And then you had the 2 plays at the end. Obviously, a huge Duvernay return. Josh Blackwell did have the key block on that. And then you hit the 48-yard game-winning field goal. So it's a mixed bag. If you want to be on the negative side of that, I'm not upset at you. I mean, you got to clean more stuff up on special teams.
Let me ask you this, Hogue. If you were to change this grade, what would you change the grade to? What do you think is a more fair grade?
C minus.
C minus.
I would still tilt negative. So C is average, right?
C is average.
So but I'm going to be a hard grader on special teams too because I don't like those 3 negative plays. Those were especially the punt. Right. The punt return really bothered me.
Running into him, right?
Well, both of them.
Oh, both of them. Okay.
That's just a dumb penalty. That's going to happen sometimes. But when they're selling out to block the punt and you give up a return into the red zone on that, I'm pissed about that.
Yeah.
Like that should be a fair catch.
You do agree, though, that if Devin Duvernay and the entire special teams unit setting up that play doesn't make that play, they don't win the game?
I do not agree with that because they have Iceman, Caleb Williams.
Okay. You do
who time and time again. I was confident they were going to get a field goal attempt there anyway without the return.
Okay, you do agree that was the biggest play of the game. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not knocking him for that.
What if Cairo makes that field goal? That changes how you approach these next plays.
Yeah,
or the rest of that game.
But the dude was 4 for 5 and he hit the game winner from 48.
He was also 1 field goal away from everybody wanting him to be out of here.
No, there was only one guy.
There was not one guy.
Well, that's true. Well, there was one person that I was listening to who
fired him.
He
also fired Duvernay in the first quarter when he didn't even have the return. It was Roschon Johnson.
Cairo has the most. For little guy Cairo, who everyone's complaining about his range, now has the most 50-plus yard field goals in the history of the Chicago Bears.
There you go.
And he hit one yesterday, too.
Look, I went on that rant this morning. Cairo is not having a perfect year, but anybody who's trying to run him out of town, it's too soon.
Correct. He's
been really good. His 50-plus yard field, even though his leg is limited, he's money from 50-plus over the course of his time with the Bears. And I think a couple of the misses were actually blocked, not necessarily on him, unless you want to blame the trajectory. But
you beat the Packers last year.
Right. Walk-off against Packers, walk-off against the Vikings on the road. Your last 2 divisional wins are walk-off field goals.
Right. Boom. Let's just leave Cairo alone.
Okay. We're going to circle back to this, though, in a second after we finish the grades because there's a question about his name.
Okay. Special teams, you get an A from me. A.
An A?
Yeah, you won the damn game.
Coaching gets a C, and coaching really gets a C. The things that the knockback here for me were some decisions that Ben made. He made some decisions near the goal line, to throw the ball when, I think we all knew that running had been more effective. At the end of the game, choosing to throw the ball 3 times while the Vikings have 3 timeouts and really just giving them a great opportunity, which they ended up getting points out of, I thought was not the best decisions, for the head coach. So those were some of the knocks that I had, but when you have a C+, a B-, in offense and defense, it sort of really averages it out outside of some of those decisions.